Hello everyone, Julia here, hello from Sweden and welcome to a new video. And today I finally can show you my London travel journal, but this is only a part one. There will also be a second part of this video because as I expected and as I mentioned already in one of my previous videos, that I wasn't able to fit everything in one insert. I thought that it will be enough for those few days in London, but I didn't manage to fit everything in one insert, and at some point I just gave up. I tried, I thought that maybe somehow I can add some additional pages and try to fit everything in one journal, but at some point I just gave up and decided not to stress about it and make as many journals, use as many inserts as I need to, and it will be two. So this flip through is a part one, the biggest part actually. Second one will be smaller and I'm still working on it, but I already finished this first insert and I have here 4 days of my trip, 4 first days in London, and in the second one there will be the last 2 days, and second insert will be smaller than this one, but yeah, this first one is finished and I can show you a flip through of this first one now, and I think next week, probably next Saturday, then I will show you a flip through of the next one. I used the insert that came together with this red notebook cover, this Love and Trip insert, which is really cute, and I just added a few more stickers to the cover. It's already very beautiful, so I just added the date stickers here and one of these note cards and London sticker, and that's pretty much it. And on the back just some random stickers and tapes, and yeah, I used this whole insert for 4 days. I had lots of ephemera. I showed how many different papers I collected during my trip, and I also was showing some new stationery that I bought in London, and yeah, it's a lot of stuff, so I'm not surprised that I wasn't able to fit everything in one insert, but that's okay. I think it's the first time actually that I will have 2 journals for, or even 3 different journals for one trip, because I also have Birmingham, which was the first part of this trip, in the separate insert, so it will be 3 journals for one trip, but that's okay. I don't see a point in just limiting myself and trying to fit everything in one. That's not my goal. For me, the goal to document everything in detail, like add all the stuff that I want to add, not just document it just to have something, but document it in a way that I want to do it in a meaningful way for me, and include all the stuff in this journal that I collected during my trip. So let's get into it, and on this first pages, as always, I added some stickers and decorations and a little collage, and also the dates of this trip. So this insert is from 6th until 9th of July. I also added here one of the postcards that I got in London, so I always like to decorate this first page with something and also add something to the cover. And then this is the first day in London. I made here a collage, kind of like a title page, but I did it still before my trip, and I thought that I will be using this journal for like the whole trip. But yeah, it turned out to be different, but that's okay. I really like how this collage turned out. So yeah, it's kind of like a title page for this journal. And on the first day when we came to London, again from Birmingham, there was another concert. It was the next day after a Back to the Beginning concert in Birmingham, so we had a really early train to London because we were really worried that something will go wrong, that train will get stuck somewhere and we will be late for the concert, because it was starting quite early. But we arrived on time. There were some delays on the way, but not too bad, and we arrived quite early, went to eat something around the train station. We arrived to Saint Pancras train station, which is next to King's Cross, and it's a really beautiful station. Building of the station is really beautiful, so we went to eat there to some pub next to this train station, and then went to our hotel, which was near Finsbury Park, kind of a bit away from the city center, but we booked this hotel for one night only, just because we wanted to be close to the concert venue, and the concert was in Finsbury Park, so we booked a hotel right across the street because we didn't want any stress of going somewhere then by public transport after the concert when there are many people trying to get home. So we went to check into our hotel, and here I have a business card of this hotel. It was called Queen's Hotel, and it was not the best hotel ever, but okay, like for one night it was fine. And here is Finsbury Park, where the concert was, and the hotel is here, so it's like really just across the street. So the location for that purpose was really great, and yeah, that was the main reason why we booked this hotel. And yeah, so this was also again the full concert day. It was Slayer concert. The main reason to go to this concert, of course, was to see Slayer, but it was also kind of like a one-day festival. It started really early. I think it started already at 12 p.m. and we missed first two bands. We arrived to our hotel a bit later and also still wanted to check in and leave our stuff at the hotel, so we missed first two bands, but it was okay. But then we also watched Anthrax and Amon Amarth, who were playing together with them, and also it was really great. We also met our friends there again, those who were with us back to the beginning concert, and also some other friends from Denmark. So yeah, it was a really fun day, and Slayer concert was amazing. And if you are not into metal, then probably you don't really know Slayer, but if you listen to metal music, you know that's one of the really big bands in metal. And they retired a few years ago. I think they played their last concert in 2019 or maybe beginning of 20. Last time I saw them in 2019. And yeah, it was really sad because it's one of my favorite bands. I listened to them for a really long time already, and they are absolutely amazing. So it was really sad, and they didn't play this last few years, but I think last year they started to do an occasional shows sometimes, so they are not touring anymore. There are not many concerts of them anymore, unfortunately, but they played, I think, 2 or 3 concerts last year, kind of like special events, and also this year they played a few more concerts, also special events. They were one of the guests on Back to the Beginning concert, and also they played 2 more concerts in UK, and one of them was in London. So of course we had to take this chance and go there, and it was absolutely awesome. I was looking forward to this so much, and it was amazing. So the first day was a full concert day again, and then the next day was finally for exploring London, and I also was really looking forward to this because it was my first time in London, and I really wanted to see many places there. So we had breakfast in our hotel. English breakfast was included. So we had breakfast, and then we still had some time before we could check into another hotel, because for the rest of our stay in London we had other hotel, like more central location, but we couldn't check in there, I think, until 3, so we still had some time before that, and we checked out from our first hotel and just went to explore London a bit before we could go to our hotel, to our next hotel. And the first place where we went to was King's Cross station, because it was kind of close, like it was the same underground line, and I wanted to see the station itself, like the building of the station, because Harry Potter, of course. And I also knew that there is a shop there with different Harry Potter themed merchandise, so I wanted to see that shop as well. So we went to King's Cross station, and it's right next to St. Pancras station. They are like really right next to each other, and actually St. Pancras station, the building of the station is definitely more beautiful than King's Cross. I don't know why they didn't film Harry Potter there, because the building is really just absolutely awesome and it looks like a castle. But this is a picture of King's Cross station, and as you can imagine, it's a very popular place. It was very busy. There is like kind of like a sign platform and 9 3/4, and this trolley with luggage kind of half pushed into the wall, and many people take pictures there. And there was a huge line, a huge queue to get a picture like with this sign, and I didn't want to get a picture there. I didn't plan to, and especially I didn't want to stand in the queue for like, I don't know, probably an hour, maybe even more, because there were really many people just to get a picture. But I went inside the shop, the platform 9 3/4 shop, because I wanted to buy some postcards. I also didn't plan to buy lots of merchandise, anything like that, but I wanted a few postcards, and mainly for some friends who are big fans of Harry Potter, and it's also something for me. So I went to this shop, and the shop is really beautiful and there is a lot of cool stuff in there, but it's also extremely busy, and I can imagine that it's always like that. Doesn't matter when you go there, because it's a very central location, very popular place, and it's also very narrow, so there is like not so much space in between all those shelves and stuff. So yeah, it's super busy, and I was kind of overwhelmed with the amount of people, and I didn't spend a lot of time there, but I got some postcards and also Hogwarts Express ticket, and I already showed everything what I got from all the shops that I will mention today in the first video of this series, where I showed all the stationery and some other things that I bought during my trip, so you can watch that video afterwards if you missed it and if you would like to see what I bought. But yeah, so this was the first stop, and also the platform where actually Harry Potter movies were filmed, like 9 3/4 platform. It's behind the ticket gates, like behind the barriers, so you need a ticket to access the platform. And I wasn't sure if I really want to do that, like kind of like just to pay for a ticket just to see the platform. I wasn't sure if I want to do it. So I saw it kind of from some place still before this ticket barriers, and yeah, it's a platform. It's nothing extremely special. It's cool to see it in person, because of course I watched all the Harry Potter movies so many times, and like, yeah, it's really cool to see that in person, but I didn't buy a ticket to go inside there and kind of like to see the platform, because the cheapest ticket actually was not very cheap. And I decided that maybe next time when I'm in London I can actually go somewhere from London, from King's Cross station, just to take a train somewhere like for the day trip, and then I can see this platform where the movie was filmed, like the exact filming location of the movie. Then we went to Baker Street, which is just a few stations away from King's Cross, and I'm a huge fan of Sherlock Holmes already for many years. I read all the stories, really love the books and the movies and TV show, and yeah, I'm really a huge fan. And actually Baker Street was more exciting for me than King's Cross. It was more interesting for me to see Baker Street. I really wanted to see this street itself and the famous door 221B. So we went to Baker Street, and there is this Sherlock Holmes statue right next to the underground, and then we went to see the Baker Street 221B, which is a museum now, and there is also a shop. So I didn't go to the museum on this day, I decided to do it later. But we went inside the shop and I also got a few things in the shop, and here is some packaging from the shop, and I also included here one of the postcards. It was quite big, it was not a regular A6 size but quite big postcard, so I just cut it like this on the sides because I really wanted to have this building facade in my journal. It's really pretty, this door to where Sherlock Holmes lived, kind of, and like this is an entrance to the museum, and next to it this door, that's an entrance to the shop. So yeah, it was really pretty postcard, so I just cut it a little bit and included it here, and also used this piece of packaging also for adding more photos, and also was writing something on it. And then we went to Paddington station, which is also just a few stops from Baker Street, I think 2 maybe or so, and that's the same line. And Paddington is also one of the characters that I really like already for a long time. I really like the books and also the movies, and I also wanted to see the station, like the building of the station, and also there is this cute Paddington bear statue there and a bench next to it. And yeah, it's very cute, and it wasn't busy at all, especially compared to King's Cross and Baker Street. Like Baker Street also was kind of busy, like not as busy as King's Cross, but there were quite many people there. But this place was not too busy, and there were no queues to take a picture with this bear. There were just maybe 2 more people except us, and so we spent some time there just taking pictures of this cute bear statue. And there is also a shop there, Paddington shop, so of course I had to go to the shop as well, and I bought a bunch of stuff there, some postcards and stickers. And inside the shop they also have some cute decorations and some places where you can take pictures with Paddington, like for example on this bench. Yeah, the shop is really cute, and also it wasn't busy at all. It was really nice and cozy, and it's quite spacious, especially compared to the platform 9 3/4 shop. This one is quite big and it wasn't busy, so it was nice to spend some time there and just browse through all that cool stuff. I also kept this little flyer that I got there. It's an advertisement of Paddington afternoon tea bus tour. I didn't do it this time. I decided to keep it first because I really like the images here. I think it's really cute. And also as a reminder that this may be something that I can do the next time, because it sounds kind of interesting. Basically you have an afternoon tea and go through London, through different famous places in London, and drink tea on the bus, which is great. And I think it's mainly designed for children, but also would be cool for adults. So maybe next time I can do something like that, because I really love tea, and that sounds like something fun, like a fun activity. So I kept this flyer, and also here are more pictures from the shop, and also some packaging from the things that I bought there, from the pin. And my husband also got there a case for his sunglasses, and yeah, we got there quite a lot of stuff. And here is more packaging. This is from a paper bag, and this is from postcards that I bought there. That was one set of postcards that I bought, and also another set of postcards. So yeah, a lot of packaging. And of course I had to keep everything, and I wanted to include everything in this journal because it belongs to this trip, and I don't like to put away things like this, especially packaging, like kind of for later, because I know that if I put it in the box somewhere, there is a very big chance that I won't remember about it, and it will be just laying in a box forgotten. So I don't like to keep things like this for later. I try to include everything in my travel journal if it's related to this trip. If I brought something from this trip, then I want to have it in my journal, and I can keep some postcards that I bought and use them later. I can keep some stickers also for other journals. Yeah, but when it comes to some packaging and some paper ephemera that I picked up during my trip, I want to use everything in my travel journal. That's why my travel journals are always so big and chunky, and that's why it was not enough pages for me to fit everything in this journal, because I had lots of packaging. And we were also walking in Paddington area, like this part of the city around the station and like a bit more away from the station, and it's really beautiful. I really liked it. There are some beautiful parks there, and in general that area is really beautiful. Beautiful architecture, many beautiful buildings, so it was really nice to walk there. And then we also went for lunch in the pub, also not far from the Paddington station, called The Bear. Not surprising. And also it was a really cool craft beer pub. It was a huge beer menu, like local craft beer from the small breweries, and also food was really tasty, and in general I really liked the atmosphere in this pub. Nice and cozy and super friendly, so I kept this free postcard from there and also a coaster. And I got 2 coasters there, and one of them I'm actually using as a coaster, and it's quite thick, like as the coasters are. So I just separated like this part and put one of this in my journal, just as a little souvenir from the school pub. I really liked it, and definitely when I'm in London next time, that would be one of the places where I would go back. And then it was finally time to go to our next hotel. So we went to our hotel and checked in and rested a bit and had a cup of tea. And we had a room with a very beautiful view, like with a huge window from the floor to the ceiling, with a really cool view of London. It was on 17th floor, and yeah, the view from there was really great, and it also was quite central at Liverpool Street station, which is close to Tower Bridge. We were like walking distance from Tower Bridge, kind of like really close to it, and yeah, very close to underground stations. And yeah, it was a really good location, like not the most central part, but quite central and quite easy to get everywhere, and the connection, like public transport connections there, were really great. So, and in general I really liked the area around the hotel as well. Yeah, so we had some rest and a cup of tea in the hotel, and then went to explore London more, and we went to see the main attractions. I haven't been to London at all, so it was interesting for me. And my husband last time was in London 10 years ago or something like that, or even more. So it was really long time ago for him. And yeah, so we wanted to see all the main attractions as well, like Big Ben and Westminster Abbey and Buckingham Palace. So that's what we did. We went to Westminster Station, which is here, and when you exit this station, you see this view of Big Ben right in front of the station. So we started from here, from Big Ben, and then went like this, kind of down here to the Westminster Abbey, and then more to there to Buckingham Palace and park around it. And yeah, it was quite nice to walk. Like, as you can imagine, these most famous attractions, the biggest attractions, are really busy. But even in this very central part of London, as soon as you go away from the main streets and just turn a bit more into some side streets, it's nice and quiet there. So yeah, but surprisingly, amount of people there didn't bother me at all. I was really surprised. I kind of felt like in the movie, probably because I really wanted to see London and all these places that I saw in the movies, and I was really excited. So the crowds of people didn't bother me in this case at all, and I wouldn't want to spend like really long time there because it was quite busy in this area, but it was okay. Like, it wasn't it wasn't overwhelming. I kind of was a bit afraid before this trip that I will be disappointed in London because it's very busy and I just don't deal very well with crowds of people. But it turned out not a problem at all. It was great. I really enjoyed my time there and I wasn't overwhelmed or anything like that. And sometimes it was maybe a bit too busy for me, but it was okay. And I think it's always a big difference if you live there and have to experience this every day. That's one thing. And another thing, if you're just visiting for a few days, then it's okay for me when I'm traveling. I wouldn't want to live in London. I really liked it a lot, and I definitely want to go back there as soon as possible, and not only one time, but I wouldn't want to live there because it's super big and busy. So we were walking through this area in London and then went to Buckingham Palace and to St. James Park next to it, and I really liked the park. It was also really nice, and some parts of this park were also quite busy, but also there were really quiet parts, and there are so many birds there, so many different animals, like lots of squirrels, lots of ducks and geese and herons and peacocks, and like so many different kinds of wildlife, and they are not afraid of people at all. They're like really everywhere, super close to you, so it was just nice to walk there and watch the animals, watch the birds. So yeah, I really liked the park. And Palace is, well, it's a famous place in London, also quite many people around there, and it was nice to see it, but I can't say that I was like super impressed or anything. It was just nice to see it in person. It's also one of the places that I saw many times in many different movies, so it was cool to see it, kind of like it's a very iconic, famous place. But yeah. And I have here Paddington postcard that I used also for journaling on the back because I couldn't fit everything here, what I wanted to write. And then we went to Sherlock Holmes pub, which is not very far from St. James Park, and so we just went through the park and then went to have dinner in Sherlock Holmes pub, and also it was really cool, also quite busy, so we had to wait a little bit for the table and just to sit at the bar. But then we got a table and had a very nice dinner there. Fish and chips there were really great. Probably the best ones that I ate during this trip. I tried fish and chips in a few different places. I think probably these were the best. And in general, the atmosphere of this pub is really cool. They have the Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson ales, like kind of special brews, so it was interesting to try them. And then we went to another bar called Cart and Horses, which is a bit away from city center. And this bar, it's a birthplace of Iron Maiden, which is one of my favorite bands. This is the place where Iron Maiden played their very, very first concert ever. And it was really cool to be there. It's like kind of like a little museum of Iron Maiden. There are lots of things related to the band, like their guitars and some album covers and some signed stuff and some stage props and things like that. So it's very cool to see, and it was very cool to see it. And in general, it's just a nice and cozy bar with some great beers. We tried some Iron Maiden beers there, and it was really nice. And we also met there a few nice people with whom we were chatting, and we missed the last metro and had to go by bus back to our hotel, and it took ages. It was so slow. So we came back to the hotel really late, but it was a very, very fun evening, and yeah, that's also one of the places where I would like to go back. Very, very cool bar, very cool atmosphere. Then on the next day, we went to have breakfast in our hotel, and it was upstairs on, I think, 33rd or 32nd floor with a really nice view. So we had breakfast there, and then again went to explore London more. We went to this market very close to our hotel. Leadenhall Market, I think it's called, and it's a very beautiful location. And I think also some scenes of Harry Potter were filmed here, like Diagon Alley was filmed here on this marketplace, and it's really beautiful. And there is also a tiny coffee shop there that serves some Harry Potter themed drinks, mainly like an iced tea and things like that, like called Love Potion, Immortality Potion and stuff like that. So I got one of those drinks and it was really good. It was nice, really nice iced tea with some additional things in it, and it was very shiny because there was some glitter inside it. And I really like the market itself. It's a very beautiful place. And then we went to the river and towards Tower Bridge and just walked a bit along the river and saw Tower of London, which is the prison, and Tower Bridge, which is probably the most beautiful bridge in London, I think, and at least the most recognizable for sure, and it looks really, really cool. I also liked this area around the Tower Bridge. Like here is the Tower of London and here is the Tower Bridge, and our hotel was somewhere over there. So yeah, we were walking in this area for a while, and then also went to a very nice tiny pub right under the bridge. So basically the side room of the pub is under the bridge, and it's very small inside but very nice and cozy, and they also have some seats outside with a really nice view of the bridge, and it was in the shadow, so we stayed there for a while just to rest and have a Guinness with this beautiful view of Tower Bridge. We crossed the bridge, so that pub was somewhere over here, like under the bridge, and then we were walking this way, like along the river, but on the other side of the river, also very nice area there, so we walked there for some time, and then my husband had to go to the airport, so I just brought him to the nearest underground station or train station, and he went to the airport because he was flying back home earlier than me already on this day. This was Tuesday, and I stayed until Friday, but he had to work, so he had to go back earlier, and he didn't want to stay too long in London because he is also not a huge fan of big cities like me. But for me, London was definitely more interesting and more exciting than for him. So I decided to stay longer, so I brought him to the train station and then went to explore London on my own, and for the rest of my trip I was alone. I was exploring London on my own, and I have to say that I like both ways of traveling. I love to travel with my husband and to share all these cool experiences, concerts and cool travel adventures with him. He is really great company for something like this. But sometimes I also really like to travel alone because it's different. It's hard to compare it, and when you are alone you do whatever you want. You don't have to find a compromise with another person, because if you are with someone, even if you have very similar interests and want to do similar things, still sometimes you need to compromise, you need to find a way that works for both, and it's not a problem for me to do that with my husband. We usually have the same interests, and if not, we just split for some time and he does his thing and I do my thing, and it's not a problem for anyone. But when you are alone it's different because you can just do whatever you want, go wherever you want, spend as much time as you want in those places, and like, yeah, you are just responsible for yourself and you plan your own time and don't take in account another person. So I also really like to be on my own and explore new places, new cities on my own, and it's also great for me. And so I like both options, and for me it's not a problem at all to be alone. I like to be alone. I'm an introvert and I like to spend time just with myself. I never bored, I never feel lonely. I like it. Yeah, so from this point I was exploring London on my own. So I went across another bridge again, back to other part of the city, across the river again, and went to a bookshop first, Don't Books bookshop, really a beautiful old bookshop. I didn't buy any books there, but it was nice to spend some time there, and it's in this area of St. Paul's Cathedral. So I also was walking around there, around this cathedral for a while. There is some nice small park next to it, and yeah, it's also a very nice area. And then this is a picture from the bookshop, so they have their really beautiful wooden bookshelves, bookcases, and yeah, it's a really cool shop. Then I went to have kind of like an early dinner lunch in one of the places there, also close to St. Paul's Cathedral. There is a pub called Old Bank of England, and basically it's a pub inside of Old Bank of England, like a bank building, and it looks really awesome. It's a very beautiful building inside and also outside, and really cool atmosphere, very cozy, very friendly, and very good food. I had some salmon there and also tried one of the ales. Yeah, it was really cool. Also one of the places that I definitely would like to go back. And you also can go in the backyard of this pub. So basically, if you come upstairs on the second floor, and I was first sitting on the second floor. So from the second floor you can then go downstairs again to the backyard of this pub, and there is a red double-decker bus as a part of this pub. Also with tables inside, so basically you can have your drink inside this old red bus, which is really cool. It just stands there in the backyard of this pub. I think it's awesome. I really like things like that. And then I went to a tea shop, Twinings tea shop. I think it's one of the oldest tea shops in England and one of those very, very famous tea brands. So it was right in front of this pub, Old Bank of England, just across the street. And I really wanted to go to this shop and get some tea. And also you can try there some kinds of tea, so they offer you some tastings, like for free. They have a few teas ready that you can try there. So you can try out some of the tea that they sell there before buying it, which is really cool. And in general, it's a very nice and cozy shop, super friendly atmosphere. And I wish I had more space in my backpack, more luggage, that I could buy more tea, but unfortunately I couldn't buy a lot because I had only one backpack, only hand luggage, and many of the boxes or tins or any other packaging, they were actually quite big, like really big size, so I couldn't take those unfortunately, but maybe next time. I think next time when I go to London I just should buy a suitcase there and just fill it with tea, some Paddington stuff and all other cool things, and also some books. I really would like to buy some books next time when I go to London, go to more bookshops and also buy some books, because I actually went to quite many bookshops but I couldn't buy many books. I bought two, one in Birmingham and one in London, but I wish I could buy more. This was a really nice tea shop, and of course I got some tea there, and I also got there some kind of tea-based lemonade, kind of sparkling tea with different flavors. I think they had 3 different flavors and I got 2 to try it out. It's like a cold drink, sort of like an iced tea or something like that, and it was really, really good. And then I went to Woman Shop as well. It was also not very far from there. Yeah, of course I had to check out the Woman Shop in London as well. I just came back from Finland and I've been to 3 Woman Shops in Finland, but I had to check out the Woman Shop in London as well, and it's also very nice. It's really tiny and it's kind of tight and narrow, so also if there are many people inside there it can be quite crowded and really tight. But when I was there it was already in the evening, kind of shortly before they were closing, and there were not many people at the time, so I was lucky and I could browse there a bit. And they have they have lots of cute Moomin stuff. It's a small shop, but it's very well stocked, and they have many of the same things that are in those shops in Finland, and also I think a few kind of like UK exclusive items or some items produced in UK, like available only in this shop, or probably also online in online shop, but in UK online shop, I guess. It was really nice, and of course I got some things there as well. I already showed you what I got there. And I used one of these big stickers that I bought there in my journal. With my favorite Grumpy Woman. And these big stickers I didn't see in Finland in any of the shops in Finland, only in this one, in this shop in UK. And they had, I think, 5 different options. I bought 4 of them. Yeah, a really cool shop, definitely can recommend if you're a Moomin fan, but I also noticed that this shop in UK is more expensive than the shops in Finland, also more expensive than online shop where I order Moomin stuff, which is based in Finland, so it's definitely more pricey, but things like postcards or stickers and like those small things, I think it's approximately the same price. They are not much more expensive. So if you are interested only in some small things, then I think it doesn't make a big difference. But if you want to buy more things or some of the bigger items, more expensive things, then it's definitely more expensive than in Finland. There is some difference for sure. I also went to House of Minalima shop, which is also very cool and beautiful shop. I bought there some postcards and a surprise bag, like a kind of like a blind bag. Also already showed you what I got in there, and there is a little museum downstairs in this shop, or like sort of a museum or exhibition with some movie props and some cool things, and in general the shop is really beautiful. And it was so nice and quiet. There were hardly any people compared to platform 9 3/4. This one is way better. It's also bigger and it was more quiet. I don't know, maybe it was because of the time that I was there, because it was in the evening, or I just was lucky, but I would prefer this shop compared to platform 9 3/4. If you're a Harry Potter fan, then I rather would recommend this one because it's not as busy, but also it's different. It's definitely not everything what you get in that platform 9 3/4 shop you can get here. Some things, yes, like for example postcards and some art prints and stuff like that, but many of that merchandise from platform 9 3/4 is not available here. So I think it depends what you are looking for, but it's a very beautiful shop, and even if you don't buy anything, it's just nice to go inside there and just look at all the beautiful things in the shop. It's very beautifully decorated. Yeah, it was just nice to look at all those small details everywhere, and yeah, it's a very nice and cozy place. I also was walking around in that area more and went to a bookshop street. The street is called Cecil Court, and it's a very small street, but everything, I think, except one restaurant in the beginning of the street, everything else on this street, that's only bookshops. Bookshops that are specialized on certain things, or some kind of like vintage shops with books and some other things like old maps, for example, and like it's really, really cool. Very beautiful street. And there is also Alice in Wonderland shop. But unfortunately at this time, when I came there for the first time on this day, it was already closed, like everything was already closed because it was quite late already. So I didn't go inside the bookshop, so I just walked the street a bit, like there and back, and decided that I will come back there again. And I did then later. On one of the other days, I also went to Chinatown, a bit like through Chinatown a little bit, but it was super busy. I think this was probably the most overwhelming and the busiest place that I've seen so far in London, so I didn't stay there for a long time. It was like very, very busy. And I think after that I went to the hotel to rest a bit and also to leave there all that stuff that I bought, all my purchases, because at this point I already filled my tote bag with different things and I just didn't want to carry it around all the time. So I went back to the hotel and just was resting there for a while, and then I went to this very cool place called Mr. Fogg's Gin Parlor, and it's a gin specialized cocktail bar. So, and it's super cozy and nice. The atmosphere of the bar is super nice. It's really small, but it wasn't crowded. It was quite late already. I think I came there maybe like at 9 or something and stayed there until they were closing, until 11, and there were not many people at that time, and it was Tuesday, so I guess that's why. But yeah, I really liked it. I tried 2 different cocktails there. One was based, kind of inspired on Jane Austen books, one of her books, I don't remember which one. So there was a special menu, kind of special Jane Austen inspired cocktails. I tried one of them and it came in this teacup and it was very good. And another one was called London, also was amazing. And yeah, so if you like special cocktails or if you are into trying different kinds of gin, this is definitely the place, because they have there a huge gin menu. Also, you can just try different kinds of gin there, not only cocktails of course, but just some special kinds of gin. I am not into it very much, but I like gin-based cocktails, and I went there because it was recommended by a friend, and he said that I will love the atmosphere of the place, and he was right. It's like kind of those a bit vintage vibes, many beautiful decorations, also very friendly, great cocktail menu. And it's also very cozy and quiet. And downstairs there is also a very nice pub, also very, very cool, with different local beers and good food. And the pub it's also very nice, but it's definitely more busy. And this place is upstairs, kind of like behind the secret door, sort of like behind the bookshelf. And so you have to know where to go to get inside this place. But yeah, it was really nice, and also would love to come back there. And this was a coaster, sort of like a paper coaster there, and I kept that coaster, but I just cut out this part, kind of like with a logo of this place. Very, very cool, with some kind of golden foiling. Yeah, and that was my second day in London. On the next day I started kind of early. I had breakfast in the hotel. I think I just bought some things just to have something in the fridge, and had a quick breakfast in the hotel, and it was getting warmer and warmer. And this first few days weather actually still was quite nice. It was warm but not too hot, like not extreme, but on this day it was already getting warmer, so I decided to start my day earlier, because during the day it was quite hot. It was like maybe 28 or even 30 degrees already, and that's too much for me, and I don't deal very well with heat. So I started my day early in the morning, and first I went to Portobello Road Market and walked a bit there, and in this beautiful Notting Hill area. Really wanted to see this area also because of the movies, because I saw it in so many movies, and of course the main movie is Notting Hill. I went to Notting Hill bookshop, and it's tiny, it's like really, really tiny, and also very, very narrow, and it's very busy. I think it's quite a popular place there, and it was very busy, and sometimes it was just difficult to navigate between the shelves, and so I didn't stay there. But I walked in this area for some time, and I really liked it, really liked all those colorful houses, and yeah, it's very beautiful. And also it was surprisingly quiet. I expected more people there, but again, as soon as you go away from big main streets, It's kind of quiet and nice, and some streets were completely empty. And this is a postcard from Notting Hill bookshop. I really like that there are dogs here, and I also decorated it on the back. And then I went to Kensington Garden. There is a palace there in this garden, and the garden also is very beautiful. Basically, it's just a big, beautiful park, kind of close to Notting Hill, but I took a bus for a few stops because it was getting hot and I just didn't want to walk too much in the heat. So I took a bus there and was walking in this park for a while. There is a Peter Pan statue there, and also there is a bench, kind of like a memorial bench of Alan Rickman, the actor who played Professor Snape in Harry Potter and also many other roles, but I think Professor Snape is probably his most famous role. And he died a few years ago, and here this is kind of like a memorial bench of him, and there is some quote of him carved on this bench. And I found it just by chance. I didn't know about it, but it was cool to see. Also something special. And then I went to Sherlock Holmes Museum, so I went to Baker Street again, and I had a pre-booked ticket for the museum visit. Like, I booked it online at certain time, and it was a really good idea, because when I came there was a queue of people waiting to enter the museum, but those people who didn't have pre-booked tickets, and it wasn't very long, but I would have to wait, I think, at least half an hour. But I had a pre-booked ticket for a certain time, so I just went inside the shop and picked up my ticket, and also got a few more small souvenirs from the shop, and then I could enter the museum almost right away. Maybe I waited maybe like 2 minutes or something like that. So I would recommend you to book a ticket online if you go to this museum. And there is a kind of like a short guided tour on the first floor of the museum, so someone tells you a bit about Sherlock Holmes, about the character of Sherlock Holmes, about the books, and yeah, just a little guided tour there, and then you can explore the rest of the museum on your own. There are, I think, 4 floors in this museum, and it's kind of small, so only a limited amount of people can be inside there in the same time. Not very big groups of people, so it doesn't feel like very crowded, because they actually limit amount of people who go inside there in the same time. So it doesn't feel like overwhelmingly crowded. Some rooms are really small, and if there are many people in the same time there, it can be a bit tight, but it was nice anyway, and it's a very beautiful museum. There are lots of details related to Sherlock Holmes stories, so if you read the books or watched the movies, you will recognize many things. And yeah, it's quite a small museum. I think I spent there maybe like 45 minutes or so, not very long, because it's not big museum. There is also not so much to like read there or so. Like, there are some descriptions of some things, but not a lot. So you don't need too much time for this museum. But anyway, it's very nice, and like, if you are a fan of Sherlock Holmes, I definitely would recommend it. So here again, I used the packaging from the paper bag that I got from the shop, and here is the museum ticket. It's really nice that they actually give you a paper ticket. Even if you pre-book it, you pick it up at the shop, and here's the date and time, and it says pre-booked here. Yeah, but it's a very, very pretty ticket. I really love paper tickets, as all people who journal and collect all this paper ephemera. So it was really cool to get this, and I printed lots of pictures from this museum. The details, attention to details is amazing there. It's very beautiful. And then again to Paddington Station, again to the shop, and also to visit the Paddington Bear statue again, because I was there anyway, and yeah, It's really, really cute. As I said, I really liked it, and the shop is really cool, and I just couldn't resist, and it was kind of on the way. And I got a few more things on my second visit. I got some more stickers and postcards, and also a Funko Pop. This cute Paddington that I also already showed in my previous video about all the things that I bought in London and discount because the packaging was damaging, and actually it was perfect for me because anyway I couldn't bring the box with me because I just wouldn't be able to fit the box in my backpack, and anyway I would have to throw away the box, so it was perfect. I just wanted to have this cute Funko Paddington, and it will go on my bookshelf. Now it lives on my desk still, but at some point it will go on my bookshelf, and I have a few more Funko characters on my bookshelves, so I think it will be in a very good company there. And I kept the packaging, some pieces of the box, and included it in my journal, and the rest I just threw away. And yeah, so it was a very good deal for me, and it was discounted only because of damaged packaging, as I understood. But like, I know that some Funko collectors, like really collectors, I'm not a collector, I just sometimes buy random Funkos that I like. But I know that some collectors actually keep their Funko toys, their Funko Pops in the box, they don't take them out from the box, and it kind of loses value if you take it out from the box and display it without the box, or like don't have a box if you want to sell it, for example, especially some more rare editions, some special editions, but I don't care about that. I anyway display all my Funkos without the boxes, so for me it was a really good deal. And I also then went to Covent Garden and was walking there a bit in that area, and also stopped for some rest in a pub there, and it was really hot on this day, especially in the afternoon, so it was very exhausting at some point for me to walk just because of the sun, because I'm just not dealing well with the heat, so sometimes I just had to stop somewhere and rest, but yeah, I was walking a bit in the Covent Garden area, and also went again to that bookshop street and went inside, I think pretty much all those bookshops on that small street, and I didn't buy something in every single one, but it was just nice to see what they have. They're really nice and cozy, some of them are really tiny and have some very cool special items. And I also went to this Alice in Wonderland bookshop. I think it's called, actually it's called Alice Through the Looking Glass, which is specialized on Alice in Wonderland books, and they have also some other books, mainly children's books. Many different editions and also rare editions of Alice in Wonderland. I didn't get any books there because they're very expensive, as you can imagine, those special rare editions. But I got a beautiful art print, I also already showed it, and a postcard, and it was just really nice to see this special Alice in Wonderland shop. I really love Alice in Wonderland. It's one of my favorite books of all time, since I read it for the first time maybe when I was like, I don't know, 8-9 years old or something like that. Since that time it's one of my favorite books. I also went to many stationery shops on this day and many bookshops, and it was kind of like a bit of a shopping day, walking and exploring London and shopping. I went to London Graphic Centre, which is a really cool stationery shop with many art supplies and some cool stationery, and they also have Travelers Company stuff there, and yeah, like many cool things. I didn't buy anything there somehow, like I didn't find anything that I actually wanted to buy. Like there would be a few bigger things that I would like to get there, but again, I just didn't have place in my luggage to buy anything big, so I just was browsing in the shop a bit, but didn't buy anything there. I also went to Choosing Keeping, which is also very cool stationery shop. Very beautiful, many cool items there. Also didn't buy anything there because again they had there many cool things like very special handmade notebooks, which I really liked, and probably I would buy it, but I wasn't sure if I can take it with me because some of them were really big, like kind of big hardcover notebooks, and my backpack was already full and kind of filled with different things that I bought already. So I wasn't sure if I can fit everything in my luggage, so I also didn't buy there anything. I also went to 2 more bigger bookshops, like chain bookshops, one called Waterstones and Folies. Second one was really big, I think like 5 floors or something like that, and they also have there some stationery and gifts and some Moomin stuff as well, and many cool things, and it was just nice to spend some time there. And I was going to many of these shops also kind of to hide from heat, because inside the shops usually it was very nice and cool. Most of them of course are air conditioned, so it was just a nice way to hide from heat and not to be outside all the time, because it was getting really exhausting. Afternoon was really hot. Yeah, so I was just walking and going to some shops in the afternoon, and also went to eat somewhere to have some lunch, and then came back to the hotel to rest a bit. And here is one of those tea drinks that I bought in the tea shop. Was drinking it with this beautiful view from my room. Also got some sushi, yeah, also had then later some dinner in my hotel room, because I was really tired because of this heat and just didn't want to go somewhere search for dinner. And at dinner time everything is really busy, like it's kind of difficult to find a place. Everything is very busy and crowded, so I just took some sushi takeout and had dinner in my hotel, and just was resting a bit and waiting until it will cool down a little bit. And then I went for a walk again in the evening, already later, I think sometime after 8 or even 9, and I was walking a bit in the area around my hotel, which was also really nice, and I really liked it. I also went to a nice pub there and just was sitting and reading in the pub, and I really like British pubs. I already mentioned it in my previous video when I showed my journal about Birmingham. I really like British pubs. I like the food, I like beer, I like the atmosphere. Most of them on the weekdays, especially later in the evening, they are empty. Really cozy usually, and super friendly and nice, and it's just nice to sit there and maybe have a drink or eat something. And I just was sitting there and reading for a while and kind of resting, and then went back to my hotel. And yeah, I think that's it. That's everything from this day. And here I just added some things that didn't fit anywhere else. Another piece of this Funko packaging. And also here is a tea page. I put here all those tea tags that I collected during this trip. I have a few more, and I think those other ones will go in the second journal, but here I have a few that I collected in Birmingham and also some in London. Different kinds of tea that I drank during the trip. As you can see, many of them are from Twinings, and some of the tea that I bought in this shop in London, and also I bought one pack of herbal tea already still in Birmingham, and also like some other kinds of tea that I had at the hotels. So this is a tea page, and all of them are different actually, except this. I think this was from the same tea. But all are different kinds of tea, so I tried a lot of different kinds, and I think many of them are actually herbal teas, at least all this, like peppermint, this sleep, calm, chamomile, sweet dreams. These are all herbal teas, so that was something that I was drinking in the evening. Really like to drink some herbal tea in the evening before going to sleep. It helps me to calm down, to relax and unwind before sleep. So yeah, I really liked this herbal teas from Twinings. Yeah, this is the last page in this journal, and here I put the cut out from that big paper bag that I also showed in that first video from Paddington shop. Like, this one was really big. It was bigger than A4 size, and I couldn't fit all of it, so I had to cut a bit lower part of it, like part of the coat, and also the hat. Paddington is holding the hat. I think I actually still have one piece of it. So yeah, this is the second one, like, from this big paper bag. So as you can see, it's really huge, so I couldn't fit all of it. I had to cut it a little bit, but I'm actually really happy how it turned out. I really like how it looks, even if I had to cut a bit of the hat and also a bit of the coat here, but still I really like it, and I'm happy that I managed to put it in my journal and to have it in my journal, and I think it makes a really good last spread of the journal. Also here I wrote when I finished this journal on 31st of July at almost 9 p.m. I was watching Stranger Things and journaling. So yeah, this is the first part of my London trip, first journal, volume 1, and I think I will add here somewhere that it's volume 1, some stickers or something like that, or maybe on this first page or on the cover, I will see. And the second one will be smaller. I'm going to use this one. This is a short trip refill, so basically it's a half of the size of this one. This one has 64 pages and this one 32, and here I will document the last 2 days of my trip. Next day was a museum day. I went to a few museums, and the last day was when I had my flight back home, so I don't need that many pages for that last day. But yeah, I also have lots of ephemera from the museums, so I decided to make use another journal and put everything that I want to, than just trying to fit in everything in this insert. I think at some point I just realized that it's not possible to fit everything that I still have in this insert, so I gave up on it and decided to start another one. So I'm working on this one now. I just started it. I still have to add all my ephemera, and probably then next week or in the end of this week I will show you this journal as well, when it's finished, the second part of my London adventure, and I think it will be really big and chunky. And I also have this Birmingham journal separately, so yeah, I have 3 journals from one trip, and I think this is really the first time when this happened. Usually it fits in one insert, sometimes just barely fits, but yeah, in this case it didn't. And I also bought another of these binders from Traveler's Company to archive this journal and these journals, and this binder will be for these 3 journals for my England trip. I will put all 3 of them in this binder when they are finished, and also will decorate the cover and will archive them in this binder then. Yeah, but for today that's it. That's all what I wanted to show you. I think it's a very long flip through again, but yeah, this journal is quite big. So I hope it was interesting for you, and I hope you will join me for the second and the last part of this video. When I finished this journal, I will show you a flip through of this journal, and also I put together a little happy mail like a little giveaway, a little happy mail with some things from London, and I will do a little giveaway in that next video when I show you a flip through of this journal. So I want to send you something from my trip to London, and I will show you that happy mail in the next video as well. And if you subscribed to my channel, you can participate it, and yeah, I will tell you the details then in the next video, but there will be a little giveaway in that next video. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and see you in my next videos. Bye!